January 14th, Council Verona to order. Stand for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Kenner, roll call.
President McCarthy.
Present.
Dr. Carpenter.
Here.
Mr. Forbeck. Ms. Loalbo.
Here.
Mr. Matlin.
Here.
Ms. Provenza.
Here.
Mr. Suchovich.
Here.
Mayor Recupero.
Here.
Mr. Alexander.
Here.
Mr. Pitch.
Here.
I am also here.
We'll now hear registered comments from the public. Mr. Brown.
Good evening. George Brown, 6708 East Sierra Vista, 1315167. Wanted to go over the numbers for the text alerts for the past year. So in 2019, we're up to a total of 683 subscribers, which is a 9% growth from last year overall. Total unsubscribed for last year were about 11. So 11 people opted out of the system. We're figuring they either moved or maybe just kind of wanted to see what the service was like. But the lion's share of people have stayed, so we have a net growth of 7%. Lifetime unsubscribed, so over the time we've been going, so over the past 4 years, we only had around 42 people opt out, so that's also a good thing. We sent over 80 campaigns last year. That's a good number. Everyone seems to like it. I haven't gotten any complaints or anything or get that says stop it. Everyone says typically, hey, we like the information, make sure you continue to send us the information. So we'll continue to do that. And we've sent over close to, I would say, just over 56,000 messages total over the past year. We expect it to go up a little bit next year as well. For 2019, we did project to get more signs up, so we did go into a partnership with Still City Billboards to put the information across from get-go on that large sign. We have a 6-second commercial that runs there. We do want to take a look at getting the ability for the website. You just put your phone number in there if anyone wants to do it or sign up that way. Coming up for next year. We also did, for last year, also did web links inside the text message as well, I think pertaining to the garbage specifically. We just put that. Of course, the links will have a lot more information with the text. Website, a form, and that's pretty much it. And it's time to read it. So, any questions?
Yes.
Yes.
It says number of campaign messages sent in 2018. Do you mean that to say 2019?
2019, sorry.
Okay.
Curtis, do you have the ability to do voice messages at all, like for like a landline or someone that doesn't use text messaging?
No, our service only does
Just text.
marketing. If you want to take, we can take a look at that and see what that looks
Okay,
like.
I was just curious. Okay.
Any other questions?
So if we want to continue it for 2020, I would suggest putting it up to motion so we can get them paid.
Okay. I'd like to have a motion to continue this for, with Mr. Brown.
I'll make that motion.
First by Dr. Carpenter. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Jan Loalbo. All those in favor say aye.
What was the price last year, Jared? Do you remember?
I don't know off the top of my head.
2,200.
Was it the same?
2,200? Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was about the same.
Thought it was the same. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Angela?
Angela.
Angela, 2521 Center Avenue, President of the Garden Club. Couple of things. Last year, I believe it was in the fall, council agreed to go ahead with the sprinkler systems, have a professional company put in the sprinkler system over at the new pavilion. And we've gotten 2 quotes. I believe Nancy has them.
And well, everybody has them.
Okay.
I made copies.
So everybody has them, so to make sure that we move forward, I was just wondering if we could make a decision today. I know one was considerably less than the other one. They were both good companies, but one was a little bit less, so I was just wondering if we can move forward with that and possibly make a decision. And then the other thing is we haven't had our first garden club meeting of the year yet. It's going to be next week. It was supposed to be Saturday, but we postponed it to next week. But before we have the meeting, I'd like to just talk to the council a little bit about some of the plans that I had, and then maybe get an idea of what the council could possibly do for us. So we love having our baskets, our hanging baskets, but the problem has been maintenance. Tommy Gravel has been taking care of our baskets, but unfortunately, they're dying really, really quick, and we pay a lot of money for the baskets. So this year, we were wondering if council had any room in the budget to pay for a professional landscaper to take care of the baskets. They could entertain something like that. I started trying to get estimates. I'm having a little bit of a hard time getting people to call me back, but I'm working on getting estimates from landscapers. I was just wondering if that would be something that you would be open to considering, a professional landscape company taking care of the baskets. So,
Angela, what was your first and only potential bid?
$14,000.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
It's Lawn Sense. They take care of Oakmont.
That bid is nonsense.
What?
So, for what the 14,000 we would get watering each and every day and fertilizing once a week. Now, I'm working on getting other ones. It's a little hard sometimes to get people to call me back, but I have at least another one that I'm waiting for a call back. Big Leotti, I'm waiting for a call back from him. And there's other ones that I can call also, but I was just wondering, that I would really, really love to have somebody professional take care of those baskets, so they last us well into October. We put a lot of hard-earned money into the baskets. We fundraise for those, and we love them. The town loves them, the residents love them. We get a lot of positive feedback for them, but we just want to be able to get them maintained professionally this year. The other thing that we plan on doing is sprucing up the Doughboy area. We'd like to start planting beautiful flowers over there. I'm not saying that we don't want Tommy for anything, because Tommy would be great if he could take care of that area for us. The mayor told me there's a water source behind the cannon, and what Stockman used to do is just run a hose over and water the plants. So we could still use Tommy for that. I don't think that, I mean, I would like to see a sprinkler system put in, but you'd have to dig up the road to have the water run from behind the cannon over to the Doughboy, and that's a lot of work. So I'm not asking for anything like that, but at least if we could keep Tommy on for watering that area, because I think that we can make that really beautiful. So just some ideas that I had.
Angela, do you know why the baskets were dying this year?
I forget what they call it, but what happened is they didn't get watered properly, and we've had some really, really hot days. So what happened was the soil almost turned like to concrete. If you miss a day, it was so hot that it turned the soil, compacted the soil, and it turned to concrete. So when Tommy was watering, as soon as he put the wand on, the water would run over the edge, and Tommy thought that it was full because it was running over the edge, but it wasn't. I forget what the name was. The landscaper told me what the name was. But by the time Nancy and I had gotten to them, I think it was in August, 4 hours up on a ladder with my hands digging up the soil, 5 hours, digging up the soil, trying to agitate the soil. By the time I got to that, it was too late. Those flowers were already gone. So they had to be taken down. They were dead. But I forget what that name is. So if we got the baskets again this year, the landscaping company that we use that plants them, they're out in Butler. I was gonna ask them to put the pellets in. The pellets hold the water a little bit better. There's pellets they can put in the baskets, so when you water them, it actually absorbs the water and keeps it moister. So we're gonna go that route, but also I would really like to see them professionally maintained, because the baskets speak for the borough. When they die, it's an embarrassment. I was completely embarrassed when the baskets started to die, and I don't want to see a repeat of that, so.
So I guess the question is, that we need to talk about and discuss is, how much would we be willing to spend to keep the baskets alive? And there's what,
And I can work on
44?
Yeah, I can work on getting more estimates. I am working on getting another one, but at least if you would be open to, because I don't know what we paid Tommy. I don't have the budget. I was supposed to look that up, but I didn't. I don't know what we paid Tommy last year, but I mean, we paid him, it was like $10 an hour. I don't know if it was like $7 grand at the end of the year or something like that, but
what I'll do for the workshop is I'll pull exactly what we paid Tommy, so we can kind of compare apples to apples. It's not gonna be a direct replacement if we're keeping Tommy on.
Yeah, but he won't be needed nearly as many hours as he was needed for those baskets. It's only gonna be basically one area. It's only gonna be over by the Doughboy and maybe the Veterans Wall, and that's it. Because like even the garden club can handle the baskets on the sidewalk. We did that before, we did an adopt the basket, so everybody picked their basket and watered it.
You mean a
daily.
planter, adopt a planter.
Planters,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, yeah, planters. So, I mean, to save money, I could get people to volunteer in the garden club to pick a planter and just, maintain that. But I would like to still keep him for watering over at the Doughboy. And that's really all we would need him for watering, so that would really cut back on his hours, it would really cut back on the money. But in 2 weeks, I'll try to have more estimates so you can at least see what I come up with.
And then I'll have what we pay Tommy so that we can look at it and actually
Okay.
make a
Okay,
decision.
Okay.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Jerry, is there like a contract with Tommy or anything? It's just as needed, basically? Okay.
Okay, council will hear comments on agenda items at this time. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Come to the podium and address if anybody has anything.
Dale Showalter for 40 North Avenue. Actually, the chief of police just handed me the police log, but we had seen this earlier on the Allegheny County police, I don't know what the proper term for it is, police log. So the shooting that happened on our block about 6 months ago, it seems that an individual that was possibly involved in it has also been arrested in connection with a burglary. And in that ball of wax, it looks like we had some heroin going on and all that kind of fun stuff. I'd just like to thank the chief of police. I'd like to thank the Allegheny County detectives for really moving forward with the ball on that. It doesn't seem like they wasted any time from the robbery to moving forward and kind of cleaning up the crap off the street. So just like to thank everybody involved. So anyway, have a good night.
Thank you. Okay. Reports of, we have no correspondence unless, Jerry, you have some?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Just right into my stuff.
Yes.
First thing is Marcia distributed the meeting minutes for the December regular business meeting. We did not have a workshop, so we would need a motion to accept the meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion to accept the meeting minutes.
First motion made by Mr. Suchovich. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Janet Laraba. Any questions? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passed.
I emailed everybody last week, as well as you have hard copies in front of you, with a bills payable check detail list of everything that we paid in the month of December, and we would need a motion to approve that and pay the bills.
Need a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make that motion.
First by Mr. Suchovich, second, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Matlin. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Tax collector, special taxes, the email that I sent last week also had the monthly financial report, and I will read that off. So the real estate taxes for the current year, $6,858. The real estate taxes delinquent, $5,709.44. Real estate transfer taxes, $2,877.46. Earned income taxes for the current year, $25,992.17. Local service taxes for the current year, $666.59. We need a motion to.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Mrs. Provenza made a motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Suchovich. Are there any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The final piece to the puzzle is the treasurer's report. It was also sent out in the month of December. We began the month in the general fund, $401,787.78. We received deposits into the general fund of $53,838.12. We had expenditures of $215,569.97 for a remaining balance of $240,055.93.
I have a motion on the treasurer's report.
So moved.
Second.
All right. First by Mr. Eskridge, second by Mr. Alba. Are there any questions?
I just wanted to clarify about the Second Street payment, how much is left?
Well, we don't have a final bill yet. The original estimate was approximately $150,000.
Right.
We paid $91,000 during December, and we will receive, once we receive that final bill, then I'll know, but we're figuring probably somewhere between $50,000 and $60,000.
Are there any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Police chief report, ordinance officers.
Evening.
Good evening.
Reports for December, we received 114 complaints, 9 crimes reported, 5 arrests. 1 crime code summary issued, 4 vehicle code summary issued, 29 borough code summary issued, and 86 borough parking tickets. High Street fines collected was $496.53. Borough fines and fees collected was $570. Complete reports purchased was $45. Total fines and fees collected was $1,111.53. And parking permit fees was $305. I did want to speak a little bit about the warrants that we had in the last couple of weeks. We had a burglary on E Railroad a few weeks ago, almost a month ago now. We came up with some information on who the suspects may be, suspect vehicle, etc. I got a hold of Allegheny County Police Department to have a lot more manpower and resources and stuff, because it's starting to spread out quite a bit. And they came and assisted with us, but did end up getting the total of 4 search warrants for 4 residences in Verona, and ended up making 4 arrests. He had asked about the heroin. One of the residents on Center Street, and it happened to be the dad of the residents, who claimed that all the heroin was his. So that's something obviously we're going to keep in mind and work on. But the 3 actors that were involved in the burglary were all arrested. They'll be going to court at a later date and time, and I'll find out from there. But I do appreciate Allegheny County's assistance, and the officers of the Verona Police Department that assisted with the search warrants and stuff. In fact, I was supposed to go to Illinois this weekend to see my daughters and stuff, and stay in town so that I could be involved, because I wanted to make sure that I was involved in what was going on with these things. So it all worked out real well, and I'm glad we were able to get some of these nuisances, identified and off the street.
Good job, thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Chief, nice job by all of you. Can I have a motion to accept the police chief's ordinance officer's monthly report?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay. First by Sylvia, second by Mike Forback. All those in favor, are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion passed. Fire chief's report.
We had 8 fire calls for the month of December, which gave us a total of 146 fire calls for the year of 2019. We had our elections again, and I will be the chief for another 2 years. Art McClellan will be my assistant chief, and we'll just move forward with that.
Okay, can I have a motion to accept the fire chief's report?
Make a motion to accept the fire chief's report. Second.
First by General Elbow, second by Sylvia Provenza. Are there any questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passed. EMS report. I don't see anybody from, or have anything from
Lower Valley.
Lower Valley. So we'll move on. Anything on the financial report?
No, that's all I have. I would just, I'm not sure if anybody else has an exec session on their thing, but I would like to have an exec session for personnel.
Okay. We'll have it at the end of the meeting. We don't need to come back for it.
No.
Okay. Mr. Mayor?
A couple things. Officer Bill Seiko, he retired as of, I think a week before Christmas, was it? Bill's been with us since 2008 to 2019. He's been very well liked throughout the community. He's going to be well missed. And we all hate to see him go. I know Chief, anytime that Chief asked him to do anything, he was always there, always available for work. Not that the other ones weren't, but Bill was always there. The workshop meeting, I'm going to honor him with a little gift from the board and from the community. Maybe I was thinking like at 6 o'clock, get him the sheet cake. And,
I think we should, absolutely.
Some of the officers, the officers were more than welcomed, and from other departments that he's worked with up in Oakmont, like Trevor and what have you. So I'd like to do that at 6 o'clock, and the public is more than welcome to stop down at 6 o'clock and congratulate him. And at 7 o'clock during the meeting, we will, honor him for his service in the community. So that'll be at the workshop on the 28th.
28th.
A couple other things, the LED lights are going up on, they're already up on 1st and 2nd Street, which is great, and I guess there's more to come. Is there a list where they're at?
I don't have it with me. I believe it was 10 or 11 streets total.
Okay, they're starting with the
main one.
They couldn't give me a schedule. It was more or less as they were available to do them. I know Ridge, 3rd, 1st,
They're on
second.
right now, I believe.
They're gonna do north?
North, center. I tried to get
It was pretty much every main.
all the main ones.
Right.
And then some of the side ones that were a little darker. I
They're
do
nice and
believe
bright, that's for sure.
Vogels was on there, Ridge was on there. I can email you the list for sure.
Yeah, the people have been asking me,
Yeah, I'll email it to you.
Okay. The other thing too is, we had 2 requests to close East Railroad Avenue over the summer. One was from Stephanie,
Garibay.
Wolford, W-O-L-F-O-R-D.
and she is in charge, I guess she's in charge of RCAC, and it's a fundraiser, and they kind of want to do a wine and beer festival. And also Intergroove, they'll be celebrating their 1-year anniversary, and they would like to have something also out on the street. So I don't know how the board feels. I think it's, will be very nice to attract new people into this community, and it'll be, both of them, I'm sure it'll be very nice events. There's more details to come, but I want to go this route first just to get approval of, them having, and they would be covering all their insurance and everything.
Close the street.
Do you know if it's just gonna be on the street, maybe they do that part also?
Well, there's gonna be more details to come, I'm not sure.
Because if it's part, it's gonna have to be, yeah.
Right, but it's still, they're just letting me know what they're asking me to shut the
I would
streets
think
down.
Interview would be just in front of there, right in there.
Well, they had asked for the street,
Yeah.
they wanna have a band and what have you,
Almost like the car
trucks.
cruise closed down.
Yeah, just like the court cruise, but not as far up, it'll just be from Billy K's up to the borough.
That's what I mean, just to
Yeah,
center. From center to second, the south.
Yeah.
There, okay.
yeah.
Does anybody object to that?
Not at all.
No. Do you have dates yet or no?
No, it's still in the process. This is the first of the process to, make sure we get the okay to do that, and more to come, and get some council people involved also on it. I know Nancy is involved with Stephanie, working with RCAC. So,
Well, when does RCAC want to do theirs?
Theirs is June 27th. I checked with Stephanie
is that what
today.
that was?
Yeah.
And Intergroove wanted to do it in June also, because that's when they started. I believe it was June 5th that they opened up their grand opening.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's not have this,
Yeah,
check the dates.
June, actually, 15th, I
was
think, was
15th.
open.
Yeah, that was agreed.
15, I knew there was a 5 in there.
Yeah.
We have a meeting tomorrow, RCAC. I can always bring that up. If we can make a change.
Yeah, it's far enough in advance.
Right, and we'll bring you more details between myself
Okay.
and Nancy, because she's on the board with the one event, and, but we'll bring you more information. That's all I have at this time.
Okay. I don't have anything at this time. I need an exec session with Jerry to go over a few things for personnel. That's it. Okay. Mr. Pitch.
Thank you. I was able to pull up a quick email there, Dave, and the streets that are getting the LED lights are 1st, 2nd, 3rd, Arch, Center, North, Penn, South, Vogels, West Railroad, Wildwood, and Ridge.
In that order?
No, we don't know.
No, that was just the order I wrote them down from the email.
This is Duquesne Light doing all the work?
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's why when I talked to them, they couldn't give me a schedule because this is just kind of when they have free time and a truck available, they go out and
Yeah.
do it.
And is there any charge to the borough, or?
We already paid for it.
Yeah, it was $100 a light, and
Yeah, it was about.
it was about $10,000. Yeah.
Okay.
Normally, they ask you to apply for 10 consecutive lights, up to 100 lights. They had very little interest in the program, so they were able to guarantee us the 100 lights this time, so that was a good plus. Going through my report, the PA Small Water and Sewer Grant, we're still finalizing that and getting that out ready for bid. The Wildwood signal, that has all been done. The Public Works did get all the signs relocated coming into town there. So, and to my knowledge, a lot of the kinks have worked their way out. People are getting used to it, so I don't think there's any major issues there now. First Street reconstruction, we'll be getting that started here in spring. The CDBG projects from last year, the sanitary lining was completed. It did come in slightly under budget. So Mr. Benecki and I will be applying to the county to keep the grant amount the same, which in turn, if it's approved, would reduce our match amount from the $31,000 down to the $17,000. So that could be some cost savings to us there. The road construction and the demos are still on hold. We're waiting on the county, or the road reconstruction waiting for spring. The demos are waiting for the county to get back to us. The paving, it's on hold until spring with 2nd Street.
That's just from wood down, correct?
Correct. So basically, kind of everywhere where the storm line's been replaced, that will all be repaved.
Is there gonna be in the springtime to do that? We're not gonna have to wait to the end of fall?
So far,
I mean, seriously, because it's gonna,
no,
it's a mess up there, you know.
the way I gave the time extension to Holbein was to have them, I didn't give them a set amount of days, but I told them April, May timeframe. So my understanding from talking to them is it's on their books. They're ready to go pretty much as soon as they can. So I'll be talking with them now that we're getting into the swing of things and hopefully get it on the schedule first as soon as the plants open up.
Yeah, and Wildwood's gonna be cemented?
Correct. Yeah, that might take another month or two with it just being temporary pavement. That way we can ensure good enough weather to put the concrete down, but it will be concrete again. The Greenways Trails grant that we have for Cribbs Field, I have a meeting with the pavilion manufacturer next Tuesday. I'll be talking to him on some of our options as far as the utilities for how the pavilion comes pre-wired versus having an electrician do it, and just working out all the final details on that. We're waiting to hear back on the CDBG for year 2020. The storm sewer repairs on 2nd Street, they grout filled the old line today, have one stick of pipe to finish now that it's grout filled, and they'll just be doing final restoration. Should be finishing up the end of this week, I believe.
Really, the whole thing will be done?
Correct. We'll have, like I stated, some of the paving, like the concrete paving, might have to wait a few months, so we make sure that we're in good weather. But as far as the excavators and everything on site, that will be done.
Great.
Were they doing concrete paving? Is that just in certain areas, or is that the long?
Yeah, down by the triangle there, where it goes from brick to concrete, will be, basically any concrete road that we tore out will be replaced with concrete.
Okay.
The PA Small Water and Sewer Grant, we did get that submitted, so we're just waiting to hear back. We should hear probably May, April if we're selected for that. And then some of the demolitions we've been talking about, I got the prices back for them. My understanding is we want to move forward with the 515 East Railroad. So I did receive 4 bids back on that. The one was not on the appropriate forms. The contractor told me he would have that back to me tomorrow morning. His bid was the low bid, but without the proper forms, it wouldn't be an eligible bid. But if he gets me the right forms, that amount is $16,500. If not, the next bidder was $17,000 even. So I would just look for a motion to award to the lowest responsible bidder based on the correct forms being filed.
Okay, can we have a motion for the lowest bidder, once the proper forms are filed, for the demolition at 515? Is it all 3 of these?
Just 515 East Railroad.
Just 515 East Railroad?
Correct.
I'll make
Okay.
that motion.
Motion by Mr. Suchovich.
Second.
Second by Dr. Carpenter. Are there any questions?
Quick question, Matt. This is kind of general, but on like for this demo of 515, do you do like an independent estimate or anything before the bids?
Yeah, so for that structure being as tight as it is to its neighbors, and part of that demolition requirement was to take the large pine tree down that's in the backyard. That's right in line with what our estimate is for a 3-story structure like that.
Okay.
So, and all the site constraints. You can get them cheaper if they're just rip and tear, but they have to be a lot more careful in this situation.
Okay, thanks.
I have a question too.
Yes.
This, keeping in mind that we're going to exterminate before we demolish.
Correct, that was I made sure to put that in part of the bid. I put a note and I called out the Verona's ordinance on that, so they are aware that that's required.
So does that mean that they get the exterminator, or can we choose the local exterminating company here in Verona?
They will choose who they want, but I will talk to them on trying to get someone local.
All right, great, thanks.
Any other questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passed.
In the last order I have, I received the second invoice for 2nd Street. It's in the total of $30,945.30. I would just like a motion to approve that.
$30,900?
$945.30.
Okay, that will pay off the 2nd Street?
No, that's just the second partial payment.
Next payment?
Yeah.
Okay, can I have a motion for the next payment for 2nd Street for $30,945.30?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Suchovich, second by Mrs. Provenzo. Were there any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
And that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Alexander.
Thank you, Mr. President. A number of things to report on. First, I know we have a number of, not a number, but a few vacancies on the various boards and commissions that exist within the borough, and I was directed to seek out the term limits for the various boards because they aren't uniform. And I just wanted to report with regard to the zoning hearing board, both regular members and alternate members are 3-year terms. Planning commission members are 4-year terms. Recreation board members are 5-year terms. And civil service commission members are 6-year terms. So if and when we do fill any vacancies or reappoint any members, that is something to keep in mind. when we do that to keep in conformance with the code. I was requested to speak on the Rivertown 500 Jones Street demolition. The owner of that property did take an appeal of council's decision to authorize demolition on that property, and they have since filed a motion for injunctive relief seeking to enjoin the borough from demoling the property pending the appeal in common pleas. And that injunctive relief petition is scheduled for January 17, 2019. Those are routinely granted. 2020, thank you. January 17, 2020, those are routinely granted, but I'm going to ask the court to order that they put up a bond in order to be able to have that injunction. I'm hopeful that the court will grant that. I met with Mark last Friday on a number of issues of code enforcement and ordinance issues. We prepared letters with regard to and complaints to the local magistrate for regulated rental violations. I received a call from one of the delinquent people on that list that received the letter, and I believe that he made arrangements with Marcia to pay his outstanding violation for the regulated rental today. So that apparently is working. We also issued letters for vacant property violators. There is a variance hearing scheduled before the zoning hearing board with regard to 471 Center. They're seeking a variance to change a single-family residence into a double residence, or a two-family dwelling. That's presently scheduled for January 30th, 2020 at 7:00 p.m., though I hear that that may change. Dawn, do we know if that hearing date's been set in stone?
Yes.
Set in stone, okay. January 30th, 2020 at 7:00 p.m. 460, 464, before I got to write the road down, has been sold. That's the Casabella property. I think it's South. Yeah, has been sold, and we were requested to issue certain documentation, which we agreed to issue as part of the settlement with regard to the regulated rental fees on that property. All of that documentation has been issued to allow for that property to close. And I assisted Jerry with some minor issues with regard to reorganizational paperwork that needed to be done before the reorganization. That's all I did. If we do go into an executive session, Mark has requested that I raise an issue of potential litigation at the exec session. That's all I had to report.
Okay. Mr. Matlin. Yeah, I don't know that you would have anything.
I don't have anything at the moment.
I understand.
Listening and learning.
Dr. Carpenter.
Okay. Not too much to talk about, given what's been going on regarding zoning and Airbnb. That will be one of our first priorities in terms of ordinances this year. Our next meeting is going to be on Monday, January 27th at 3 o'clock. So we'll be working on that then. And I'm going to put out an email to everyone, so look for that in terms of your opinion about ordinances for a few other things that I've mentioned in the past meetings, fees for dumpsters, regulating boat and RV storage, and a couple other things, political signs maybe coming down within a certain period of time. So look for that email. Let's see. I think that's all I have for right now.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Forback.
Yes, so these agenda items were placed before I realized I was going to be on the police committee, but I do want to let folks know that we're wanting to start investigating revision of the comprehensive plan, and have met with several folks from other communities who are in the process of doing it now. And I just wanted to plant the seed to get started on this and perhaps be able to have something in place by our 150th anniversary by next year. There are a lot of grants that are available. I want to investigate that also and really hire a professional person to be able to do this under the grants. So I just want to let you folks know that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sutrovich.
Nothing under the budget, that was passed, we're good. Couple minor questions for Jerry, he answered them about the bills. I do have a couple questions. We had talked about streetlights, the streetlights that are not being used, that are still up, and we're paying for them. Has anything been done to get Duquesne Light to take them down so we're not paying for them?
Well, we still would have to pay for them to get them done.
Well, but we're still
Yeah,
paying a monthly fee for nothing.
Yeah, I think when we spoke to them, I think it was something around like $1,500 to have a light taken down.
One
Like
light?
1,500.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
So we have to kind of figure out the cost savings and see what it's gonna,
Is that them taking the pole and the lights or just the lights?
Just the light. When Councilman Nick Vitolis was on, he went through the town, and we had pole after pole after pole after pole with lights on.
I remember
So
that.
we did every other pole, and it was $1,500 to take them down.
Just the light?
Just the pole arm.
There's also some lights here on East Railroad that we had turned off to see if the street lights
Be lighted
would
up.
be night, and they're still there too.
Right.
Any idea what we pay per light? Nah, that'd be
It's
very minor. Compared to
the monthly
$1,500.
bill is, for all the streetlights in the entire community, is around $4,000. What that breaks down to per light, I have no idea.
Right. That might not hurt us to check into it and see what it costs.
$4,000 for the whole year, Jerry?
No,
No,
per
that's
month.
per month.
For all the streetlights in the entire
Per
community.
month,
Yeah.
okay. That's $48,000.
With the LED, it should.
Well, we should, we'd have to maybe take a look and wait till after the LEDs are all in to see how much savings.
Right. And Matt, did we do anything yet on that Center Avenue and Athletic Street?
AJ put a one call in. I see that the gas company marked their line, and he was gonna do some
I guess I was talking about a drain where the water's coming up.
It's all ice.
Yeah.
Not where it's sinking. I know they said they looked at that and shot that and it was, the pipe was good.
Yeah, they put the camera in the pipe up there. The pipe looked all right, so they did put the one call in. They were gonna open up a small spot and see if they could see anything else. Where that water's coming out, Jerry and I have talked about it. The closest drain we have is at First. So we'd have to run a drain all the way up there. So we're exploring the options there.
Okay.
We have had
We're working on it.
a couple conversations with the water company. They're claiming that it's not theirs. So it's a tough call there.
Okay. That's all I have, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Albo.
Thank you. Currently, on the rep board, we have 2 vacancies to be filled, the vacancy of Matt with his resignation of Dave Matlin, and Mike Forback. We had advertised for the positions and we received 2 letters of interest, and one was from Ray Homa and Laura Jacko. Both letters were distributed to the current rec board members, and they all agreed. They would like to recommend both Laura and Ray to fill in the positions for Dave and Mike on the rec board. So I'd like to make a motion.
I'll second that.
I have a question.
Okay,
this is
one second. One second. You want to make a motion?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Second by Dr. Carpenter. Are there any questions?
No, I did.
Sylvia. Oh, Sylvia, I'm sorry.
I did.
Yeah, I have a question. This is still the 1 year remaining to the 4 year
Right,
term.
this
It's
will
not
be the
5 years.
remaining,
Right,
So it remains
to
the
fill the
same.
vacancy.
Yeah.
So then you're gonna need to designate who's filling the 1 year term of, the remaining 1 year term of Mr. Forbeck, and the remaining 3 year term?
They're
I think they're both 1 year.
Well, I thought, I just heard you say that they were different.
No, I'm looking at that, now I look, it's 1 year each, so it's.
Okay.
So each of you, so it won't matter which one they're filling.
Right.
So
So
they're
they're
both
both
paid
1 year
for 1
terms.
year, and then after the 1 year term, they can be
Reappointed to a full term.
reappointed.
Any other questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passed.
Welcome.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Welcome aboard. And our next meeting for the new year is going to be February 4th. We will be meeting not every month, it will be every other month, as it says somewhere with my committee meeting that we meet every.
You can change it.
Okay, but it has been advertised for every other month.
Okay.
First Tuesday of the month at 7 o'clock here at the Borough Building. And that's all I have.
Mrs. Provenza,
Yes, sir, thank you. Good evening.
good evening.
New year, another new beginning, right? I'll start with events. This Thursday, January 16th, is our first Historical Society meeting for this year, and I extend an invitation to everybody. These meetings are wonderful, and I have to thank Rhoda. She does a great job. She started it, and she's still doing it well. So thank you, Rhoda. You, along with Patty, your treasurer, we appreciate you and we thank you. First, we'll have a short business meeting, as we always do, and then we're going to have a film. It's going to be by Rick Seaback. He's with WQED radio, or television, and he's great. He films very wonderful things from here in Pittsburgh and even other areas. And the title of his film this week, or this meeting, will be entitled Southside. So he will give some wonderful highlights on Southside, maybe things none of us knew about. So I thank you again, Rhoda, and do share this with your friends and family. Invite them to come. These meetings are wonderful. And we even do a drawing. Rhoda had the great idea to give prizes away, so you may walk away with a prize. So thanks again for a great job, Rhoda. And secondly, January 29th, which is Wednesday, is the first community dinner for the year here. It's at the Methodist Church, and the time is 7 o'clock. And this meeting is hosted by Presbyterian Senior Care. And they do a wonderful job, Shirley Davis and the people that she's asked to come in and help. So you may want to even share this with friends and neighbors. They do a very good job. I've volunteered there occasionally, and it's a wonderful thing. Many, many people come. So don't forget that one either. And lastly, but certainly not last, our newsletter. I wanted to ask, how do you like the new look?
Wonderful.
Got a lot of compliments on it. We have expanded it. We have added many new things, and we're certainly always open to new ideas, new articles, whatever you would like. And we've also changed our schedule. We will need all the ads, the articles, stories, or any information that you'd like to give us, and we will need them by Monday, March the 2nd. Absolutely, that is the due date. And our goal is to get that newsletter into your mailbox the very first week. For instance, this will be first week of April. That'll be the first one for this year. But we have to have them early. So if you'd be kind enough to send your articles to Dawn, and I thank you, Dawn, for coming on board as editor and Rhoda as your assistant editor. You're doing a great job, both of you. Thank you. You are appreciated. And you can send it, your articles, to veronanewsroom@gmail.com. And if you have any ads or even articles that you want to talk to me about, not a problem. I also need the ads by Monday, March the 2nd. And last year, I have to close, it was a good year. We, of course, did not have to touch the budget, did not touch any taxpayer money. So I'm real pleased with that. We work hard at it, but we get it done. And also, I got information from the computer. The Verona Community Group is looking for volunteers to help with a bingo fundraiser, which is going to help raise money for the 150th birthday of our community. The bingos are going to be held, the first one will be held at the Eagles, and it starts on January 31st. And then there will be another one on February the 7th, February the 14th, and February 21st. And they start at 7 and go till 9. So, and they're also looking to do a 50-50 and a Chinese auction with baskets. So this will, of course, generate more money for the function that's going to come up, but volunteers are needed, and you may want to see Jessica or Dave about that. So starting early, but it'll come here quickly. Thank you very much. That's my report.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Nobody has anything on special committees because nobody's gone. So we'll hear comments from the public. Council will listen to comments, limit to 3 minutes, and please state your name and address. Come to the podium. If you comments. I thought you had a comment you raised.
Oh, I did. I have something to say, yeah.
Joey Warren from Verona Avenue. Happy New Year. Welcome aboard, everyone. Congratulations, everyone that's new and the other representatives who have been here. I do have a couple questions about the update to the website. I was curious about chairs and co-chairs for committees for the president and the vice president of the council, just in general. And then didn't know if you had an anticipated timeline for the web updates for people to reach out to newly elected officials. And one comment to Mr. Brown's report. I didn't know if you will be able to have the registration available on the website for someone to sign up for text alerts. And I would ask that you do extend it to the voice messaging. I know the last community I was in, if you don't have a phone that you text with, it was nice to get a voicemail. You want to either landline or cell phone, so I don't know what the cost is, but I'm sure it's worth outreach to more and more residents. So that's something you can look into. I'd appreciate that. And one thing to note with that, as I was taking notes this evening, it looks like there's a couple things coming up to what I think Matt was speaking to with, there's going to be a demolition of a home that has close neighbors. There's going to be a paving across a long stretch. If there's anything that's important to note very quickly to everyone, I just wanted to make sure that there's something beyond text, and I think the voice message system would do that, so you could give someone a heads up on pieces like that. So that was my second remark. And then the next one was about communications. I didn't know if with the communication committee, if there's anything that's going to be new or different for this year as far as outreach to the community beyond just the website. So I don't know if you guys have any plans for that, or if you've not yet discussed it.
We have not discussed anything. We have not discussed it. That's what exec session is for.
Okay.
Later.
And then the committee chairs and co-chairs?
They're still being worked on. There's a few things that need to be readdressed.
Okay.
To finalize them. They'll all be finalized for the workshop.
Got it. Thank you very much.
Okay. Just want to make sure I'm not stepping on any toes. Road of War, 636 3rd Street, Verona. You already discussed something about the potholes. There's a tremendous pothole when you're going down the bottom of 2nd and you're making a right-hand turn on Wildwood. There is a very, very deep, and I understand they're going to be paving it, but if they can cold patch it or something, that would be great.
He filled it yesterday afternoon.
Okay, because it was intense.
I told him about it. He went right down there and filled it with cold patch.
Oh, fabulous. And then when you get to the light, if you're going to make like a left onto ARB, there are 2 biggies.
Okay, I'll talk to AJ about those.
Okay, yeah, cool patch those two. Okay, that's good. Okay, the marquee that I think your son had done for a project was so wonderful in your Cribsfield. I'm calling it a marquee. Yeah. Wonderful. If somehow we could get that booted up again, it was so helpful. It was a wonderful project, and I was hoping that maybe we could do something. It was advertising events. It was really great for communication. Okay, I'm not sure which committee this would be, but the first impressions coming through Verona are very important. Anytime, actually. What I'm seeing, and I'm getting other people feeling the same way, is our landscaping really, really needs to be addressed. The Borough Building, there's always litter in front of the Borough Building, which should be very pristine. The pavilion, the rose bushes haven't been cut back. They're wild, okay? Litter there also. The pylons, the shrubbery, the landscaping is very overgrown, it's old. We need to change that. The War Memorial, there should not be flags that are tattered. I mean, that's one of our landmarks. We need to take more respect toward that and more interest in replacing those. Also, comprehensive plan, I am so thrilled that it's coming to fruition finally. That was one of my babies. Donald had bought a book. I'm hoping this is going to help you a little bit, if not. And then also, when I was on council, I used to try to do a lot with Oakmont as far as sharing ideas. Here's their comprehensive plan. This is another sheet that just like a outline, and this, hopefully it'll help you. Great, okay? Sure. And then let's see.
Right now, they're making theirs digital.
Yeah. I was always winded. Also, in front of...
That's why you're limited to 3 minutes.
I know, I'm trying, honest to God, I'm trying to step it up. In front of our pavilion, it was so totally cool, the way we have like the fake brick and the circle. Well, if you go around and you look, there are starting to crack a little bit. If our guys, the street crew, can maybe fill it in before it gets tremendously damaged, okay, because that really is, it's a...
Right over here.
Yeah, where the pavilion is. It's a focal point. I can't tell you how many people have said it looks so fabulous. So if we can maybe maintain it a little bit, it would be great. Not now, I'm understanding the spring. Also, the code enforcer, I know at one time when I was on council, it was so great because they used to do reports of the properties that they were dealing with, and it gave you, a heads up on what was being addressed. Okay, and it's sharing information. I think that's important to do. And I'm hoping during the meetings that everyone's bringing up new ideas, and I'm excited for, the new council, and I'm hoping that all the things that we're mentioning, like the other people, other citizens in Verona, that they can be addressed in a timely manner. Because, sometimes in the past, not to sound negative, things weren't always addressed. So I'm hoping that it'll happen. Also, Jerry, you used to do follow-up reports. They were so great. If you could do that again, it was really, and what was nice, it was a great addition.
You mean the state of the borough? State of the borough, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it was great.
I was thinking about doing it more on a quarterly basis and working with Dawn, putting it in the newsletter. Every month it got to a point where I didn't really have a whole lot to say that made it worth people reading it. Quarterly, we'd have a lot to share and it would be a little easier, so.
And really sharing all our ideas, I think it's gonna make a better community. And again, I don't know if you've noticed, but we have a very conscientious committee, or committed, energetic community group, and it has a vision for Verona, and they have the hope, and I'm hoping the enthusiasm to keep growing and promoting safe and progressive changes in Verona. Thank you.
Next time, limit yourself to 3.
I would have talked faster, but I'm just...
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other comments? Okay, can I have a motion for us to adjourn to an exec session?
I'll make that
Do
motion.
you not have to come back?
I'll make that motion.
First by Dr. Carpenter, seconded by Mr. Suchovich. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passed.
All right, everybody out.
Right. I looked it up.